Hi everybody. Today I want to show you a very popular Indian dish called Matar Paneer in the Instant Pot. Now, since I'm making the Matar Paneer and I like to multitask, I'm going to actually do three things at once. I'm going to show you how to cook a complete Indian meal, and this is kind of part 2 in my complete Indian meal series. So, the one thing that I'll show you from scratch is the Matar Paneer. So, hang on for that. Also, what I'm going to do is I made this masala to make a potato and capsicum sabzi or vegetable. So this is kind of like a little bit dry but gravy, and as you can see I just like kind of put my capsicum and potato in one bowl. It's half a capsicum, I should say bell pepper, green bell pepper. Capsicum is what we call it in India, and 3 small potatoes, red potatoes here. So I have them cut and cubed, maybe like half inch to an inch of size. And then here I made the masala on the stove top. Now I want to do this because I want to cook this together in the IP with the Matar Paneer. So for the masala, you could generally make anything, but what I did is I just heated some oil, added asafoetida or hing, followed by mustard seeds and cumin seeds, a pinch of turmeric and a pinch of or 1/8 teaspoon of red chili powder into the oil. Let that saute for half a minute or so. Added onion, garlic, ginger, onion, and sauteed that very well with some salt. Added some tomato puree on top, and then I added this masala called Malwani masala. It's again a region of India, and I added a tablespoon of this masala along with a little bit of coriander powder. So I just quickly made this masala, and that's it. So now I'm going to show you how to make the Matar Paneer. So my Instant Pot is on saute mode, and I'm going to add a little bit of oil to my pot. I have pre-fried my or kind of pan fried my paneer pieces, and I cut them in triangles. It just kind of adds a little bit of interesting shape to these paneer. You can also cut them square, it doesn't matter. And this is about, you get this paneer block in the Indian store, and this is 3/4 of that, so about 350 grams or so. And I have some frozen peas here, 1 small onion, and then I also have some garlic and ginger here. So we're going to use about a teaspoon of each. Then I have some very hot Thai chili, which I'm going to use a little bit of. Okay. As usual, I'm going to start with some whole spices. So as you can see here, it's bay leaf, cinnamon, cloves, oops, that fell off, cardamom, and peppercorns. So I'm going to put that in the oil because it's hot. Let me find that stray bay leaf. To this, I am going to add my chopped onions. You want to finely chop your onions. So as you can see, I added about a finely chopped small onion, and let that saute nicely. Add some salt again to bring out the water from the onions and make it cook faster. So I added 1 teaspoon of chopped garlic and chopped ginger, and also a little bit of Thai chili. You can see it over there. Mix it along, and again let it saute for a couple of minutes. Now that is getting sauteed nicely, I'm going to add some cumin seeds on top, about half a teaspoon. To this, I'm going to add some, let me show you here, tomato puree. This is not the canned version. It's actually called Pomi, P-O-M-I, and it comes in kind of a carton, and it's Italian. So this is actually imported from Italy, and these are really nice. If you don't like the canned tomatoes, I think you would like these. So I'm going to put about half a cup at first. So there's my tomatoes. These are chopped tomatoes or crushed tomatoes. There's one of the two, but they have a really nice flavor. So let this cook for another couple of minutes, and then we can add some of the spices. So let's start adding some spices. A little bit of turmeric, about 1/4 of a teaspoon of red chili powder, about a half teaspoon of garam masala, some coriander powder. You can optionally add some jeera powder or cumin seed powder. And then the other thing you want to add is this kasuri methi. This is basically dried coriander leaves. So you can add a tablespoon or so of this. Just crush them as you add them. Mix this all up and let the spices cook. Some more salt. Again, you want to add salt according to your taste. It's always better to add less. So now that the masala has cooked, I'm gonna add my paneer as well as the mutter or peas. If you have access to fresh green peas, that's even better. I'm going to turn off the saute mode because I don't want this to cook too much, otherwise the masala is going to stick at the bottom, and I want to add some water to this so that it helps in cooking. So I added about 1/4 to half a cup of water, not too much because it's not like these need water to cook as much, and so it depending on, like, you want it to be a thick gravy, not too loose. And I've turned off the instant pot. So here's and this is one version of Matar Paneer. There are many different combination of spices that you can do, but more or less it remains in the same kind of vicinity of like the masalas that I used, and you can have a slightly different variation based on your taste preference. So now on this I promised you 3 things. So here's what I'm gonna do. First, I'm gonna put my trivet in here, and I've been asked many times like where I got my trivet, and this came with my IP, and because my IP is very old, I got lucky with the trivet, I guess, because it has nice like couple of inches height and it's sturdy enough. So I have this in here. I mixed up the potatoes and capsicum into the masala that I made, the one I showed you in the pot. And on top of this, actually, I'm gonna switch this up. I'm actually going to make dal as well. So I kept this soaking for about 30 minutes. As I was doing the prep work for all these dishes, I just soaked the dal at the beginning. That's because I'm not going to use the rice mode today, and so it will be a little bit less time on manual. So as you can see, and it's a split Urad Dal. So if it's a split dal, then it's easier, it's going to cook a little bit faster, and I use 1:2 ratio for the Urad Dal here. Now on top I'm going to add this potato capsicum dish, and so you can see I'm going to make 2 vegetable gravies and 1 dal in one go. Okay, so hang in there with me. I'm going to close this up, and I'm going to use, so it's all closed up in sealing position, and I'm going to use the manual mode for 6 minutes. Now, the idea of Matar Paneer, I was talking to a friend, it's like, hey, I made Matar Paneer in the oven. It's like, that's awesome. And then my husband the next day requests, like, can you make something like paneer? So, because he loves that. So this is how it all came together. So 6 minutes on manual, and let that happen. I'm going to do a quick release. So I will show you that. And then what I'm going to show, I'm going to reuse this pot, okay? The saucepan is just going to be reused for the tadka for the dal. So I will show that too. So cooking in that same sauce pot, because again, I want to have the minimum number of dishes to wash, and these are all hand washed, so I can't really put them in the dishwasher. So I'm gonna start preparing my chonk or tadka or for the dal, tempering, that's it. And to this hot oil I'm gonna add asafoetida. This is gonna be simple. Mustard seeds and cumin seeds. a little bit more oil, just so the seeds and mustard seeds can splutter and cook and roast. So let that start spluttering. So while that is happening, for this I'm going to need a little bit, maybe half of a small onion. I'd actually just saved a little bit from my Matar Paneer, and I'm going to use a finely chopped onion, and then a little bit of ginger and garlic. As you can see again, I had saved some for this dish. And then I chopped up a bunch of cilantro, about 1/4 of a cup chopped finely. And basically I'm gonna use this. So what I'm gonna start with is putting this into the hot oil. So put all of the ginger, garlic and cilantro, let it cook for about half a minute. Cilantro really gives a nice flavor. It's slightly different. So Urad Dal by itself, it can be very mild, and so if you want a nice flavor which is slightly different than your regular tempering, then adding a cilantro base is really gives it a nice taste. I'm gonna dump in the onions. So I'm gonna let this cook and have the onions become golden brown, and then I'm gonna turn it off and I'm gonna wait for my IP to get done. So my IP just turned into the warming mode, and I'm gonna do a quick release. So you want to do a quick release because you don't want to get the peas or the bell pepper change the green color. So now I'm gonna go into a quick release. So just turn it slightly and let it slowly release. I don't want the any kind of liquid or gravy to just kind of get onto the lid or spray itself onto the lid. So that's why I'm just doing this slowly. So I opened up my IP, and here's what the first dish looks like, and you can see and test that the potatoes are nicely done. Okay. I'm gonna get my tongs and get the rest out. There's my lentils or urad dal, and here's what the Matar Paneer looks like. So I'm gonna take this out in a bowl and show them to you how they look garnished, and then I'm gonna just finish off the lentils by mixing them into that cilantro onion base that we made. Hi, so here's what my dal looks like at the end of after I mixed it with the masala. I did have to put it back in, so I would suggest to soak it for at least 2 hours before putting it with your Matar Paneer, because this does take because your Matar Paneer cooks at a different time for different time duration. You want your dal to be pre-soaked for a couple of hours. So that's it, 3 dishes. You can always substitute the dal with rice or one of the vegetables that we made with rice, and you can still have your complete meal. I already had rice, so this is what I made. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.